Alright guys, so it's time to unbox it, and it was actually very funny because when you open this for the first time you're kind of, oh my gosh, my powder, my powder is like, it's all over the place, all over the box, hashtag panic, hashtag drama, and then it's actually the packaging. Hello, gorgeous, beautiful stars. Paris Star Channel here with a super new first episode in the season of 2023 welcomes you. And I propose you a very exciting episode. Guys, today we are diving into the subject of people's favorites. As you know, every single time when the year is coming, YouTubers, influencers are trying to convince us about their own personal products. So yes, one of these famous products that has been mentioned many times during other people's favorites has been this one, guys, which is HUDA Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte Liquid Concealer, and accompanied with a powder, a very special HUDA Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder in this unique pink shade called Cherry Bottom? Not the cherry, what is this? Cherry blossom. Oh my cherry. There you have it, guys. So today in this episode we are diving in this subject and we are going to try it out. Can this product be my personal favorite despite my age and my demanding skin and whatnot? So yes, guys, if this is something that interests you, please tune in to the party, to today's episode where we celebrate everyone's diversity that makes us all different and beautiful. Let's start today's episode. Today's episode is gonna be all about Huda Beauty. And do-do-do-do-do. Oh my gosh, guys, and so here we are back with today's episode, and I am so happy to be back with you. As you can see, new year, new episode, new me. I cut my hair, you'll see it later, because right now I'm very well installed and prepared to apply makeup, but you will see it later in the episode and probably in the check-ins. So yes, guys, as I can say, new year 2023 has arrived. New episodes, they will be arriving at its own pace. It's because I have my own private life and I cannot possibly regularly film. It's impossible. Either I would have to give up on something, and this is how it looks like. But I am really very happy to be here right now with you and talk with you and review the products, guys, because as I've mentioned before, Huda Beauty has launched these products that has been favorite for many other people, but usually younger people. So since I'm over 40 years old, I was very curious, will this concealer be good for the people who are over 40 years old, who has different skin, who has a very demanding skin, who has a very wrinkly and dry under eye area? Will this concealer be good for them as well? How it will look like, how it will react, we'll see. By the way, guys, I cannot believe it that it is already 2023. The new year has just entered and it's just like almost the middle of the month of January. May the year 2023 bring you lots of new and exciting adventures. But guys, okay, to the subject. As I've said, the concealer, we'll see how it is going to look like for a mature skin, because most of the influencers and YouTubers that we're talking that it's a great concealer that I've seen on YouTube, they were younger people. And then this super special powder, we're going to see if really this kind of a special pinky tone in the powder can change anything on my complexion. I am very curious. So yes, guys, let's jump first to the subject of the concealer. So here you have it, Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte Liquid Concealer. This is how the product looks like, and my concealer, I decided to go with a shade 1.5B because among this shade line, this was one kind of like the pinkiest. I don't know if it's not gonna be too light. We are going to see it, guys. But this is, I actually like a little bit of a pinky concealer. This is my kind of a favorite shade when it comes to concealer, so I picked this one up, and then we'll see. So when it comes to packaging, I really like that there's a special seal here, as you can see on the box, so that you know that you are going to be the first person that it's gonna break into the packaging. So here we go, we're gonna break the seal. Ta-da! And then we take out the concealer, and there you have it. A very nice bottle, plastic bottle. This is how it looks like. So yes, guys, before we are actually going to apply this on in my under eye area, let's jump quickly to official Sephora website and see the claims, because this is what I was interested in as well, because they were claiming that it is a concealer mixed with a little bit of a skincare, and I said, okay, that's so cool, because I absolutely love when certain complexion products are mixed with skincare, which means they want to take care about your skin and, you know, not tire your skin. A typical makeup usually is tiring my skin, making my skin look wrinkly and tired, which means making me look older. And I guess in makeup, no one wants to put makeup to make yourself look worse and old. So when they said that Huda Beauty is that type of a concealer that stretches, works with the skin, and it's filled with skincare, I said, okay, that's really cool. Because, okay, we need to say this because it's very important. Makeup, it's like the ocean that invites you. You don't have to do every single step of the complexion that is usually mentioned on YouTube by beauty influencers and YouTubers. You can do whatever your heart desires and whatever your heart tells you to do. Listen to your heart and listen to your own needs, not the voice of the influencers. You can always try to think while listening to the influencer, do I need this, do I need that, but do not follow them. Listen to your heart. Your opinion is the most important. So for me, what I'm trying to say when it comes to makeup, I do not wear concealers. I just don't. It's because the concealers, and especially the bad concealers, if they are, they're going to accentuate here everything in my under eye area, making me look old. And for me that likes makeup, no makeup, this look will scream makeup, like scream. So yes, that's why I am not a very big fan of the concealers, and I'm fine with that. You know, some people, they don't like bronzers, they don't add bronzers. I'm not a very big fan of the eyebrow products. Usually when I do eyeshadows, I do a little bit of an eyebrow to frame my eye. But today, for the sake of this episode, I haven't done it. And it's fine. It's really fine. This is why the makeup is so great. Because you and only you adapt your makeup to your own personal needs. And that's fine, that's great. So, to the subject. As you can see, my under eye area is very, it looks like it's older than me, you know, very demanding, very wrinkly, very dry. My skin has already been prepped and my skin is already dry. I don't know. I would have to have some kind of a super patch of some super balm all day long so that I would bring back the moisture. I can't do it. It's impossible. So any sort of a concealer usually accentuates and makes this area looks even worse. So I'm fine when I'm wearing makeup sometimes, or very often actually, not put any concealers. So yes, that would be my introduction, but right now, as I've said, let's jump into the Sephora website and read very quickly what the website can say about this Huda Beauty concealer. There it is, I'm ready. Guys, what it is, Huda Beauty concealer. By the way, Huda Beauty concealer has 9 milliliter of the concealer, which is quite cool. Usually I like concealers that has 2 milliliters, and this is one of them, which is the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat High Cover Concealer that I love. But it has 2 milliliters and it's so expensive. What can I say? I always like the most expensive products. But guys, to the subject. So there you have it, the claims about the concealer from the website. What it is: a buildable creamy formula that can flex from medium to full coverage while it visibly brightens and conceals, is fragrance-free, long-wearing, crease-proof, and made to move with you. How wonderful. Full coverage, ooh, not very fond of full coverage, we'll see. Finish matte formation liquid. Highlighted ingredients: vitamin E and sweet almond oil. Condition and care for the delicate under eye skin. Wonderful. Great. Ingredients callouts: free of parabens, formaldehydes, formaldehyde releasing agents, phthalates, mineral oil, retinol palmitate, oxybenzone, coal tar, hydroquinone, sulfates, SLS and SLS, triclocarbon, triclosan, and contains less than 1% synthetic fragrance. It is also vegan and cruelty free. What else you need to know? Faux Filter's Luminous Matte Concealer is infused with conditioning sweet almond oil and vitamin E to delicately nourish without setting into fine lines. This versatile concealer has a lightweight blendable formula that melts into skin with extended staying power that is waterproof and won't transfer. It effortlessly diminishes the look of dark circles and blemishes while softly blurring and visibly brightening. This concealer is available in 29 shades. How wonderful, guys. How wonderful is that, the claims. But you know, guys, the claims are one thing, and now it is time to look deeply into the ingredients and see what the ingredients can tell about this particular product. So there you have it. As it's mentioned again, vitamin E and sweet almond oil condition and care for delicate under eye skin, which for me personally it is very inviting and very kind of like encouraging to jump and see and check this concealer. So what do we have in ingredients? We have water, and then we have some silicones, and then basically we have products that are used basically in formulation of the products that gives a special viscosity and texture. And then we have the synthetic fluoroflogophyte, and then in the middle, which is actually very cool and very interesting, we have the active Prunus amygdalus dulcis, which is a sweet almond oil. This kind of an ingredient that's supposed to not dry, help the product not to dry under our eye area and plump, maybe not plump, but you know, moisture, to be some sort of an occlusion, to be some sort of a protection for our under eye area, preventing it from drying. And then we have tocopherol and tocopherol acetate, which basically is tocopherol. It's a vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, which is a protection against the external stressors, to simplify basically the description. And it's absolutely wonderful that these active ingredients, they're in the middle of the list and not at the bottom, which happens quite often with some brands, you know. No shade here, it's just how it is. And then what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? We have silica, and then we have pigment, and yeah, and that's it. It is a very simple ingredient list, but I don't know. I don't have anything bad to say about this ingredients list. The promise so far when it comes to ingredients, they have been met. But how they will look in my under eye area, we're going to see it in just a second. So yes, the description has been what I want to say. Anyway, the introduction of this product is done, and right now it's time to go to the most famous and most my favorite part of the episode, which would be the applying and the demo. And my under eye area, they're all like, oh, we're scared, what is gonna happen? But hey, makeup is all about fun. This is a test. If it's gonna work out, it's great. If it's not gonna work out, it's not the end of the world. This is something that has to be said. If this concealer is your personal favorite, I am very happy for you. I'm not here to hate this product or put some shade onto the brand. It's just, if it's not gonna work out for me, I'm going to tell you and show you the proof so that I'm not making up. But by all means, I'm not here to hate or put any shade onto anything or anyone. Let's clear that out. I'm very far from it, actually. So yes, good. Let's open the bottle. Look out, look out, look out. And, oh, sucked in. Boop, boop. Okay. Ooh. Wow, the dough foot is huge. Oh my gosh, the dough foot is huge. Who am I? A golem? To put it. I don't have such a huge under eye area. Am I a golem? Anyway, guys, okay. So, I don't know how much do I need it, but the claim says that it's a full coverage concealer. So I'm going to put it just a little bit here in the middle, and we'll see if it's more than enough. If not, I always prefer to put it less and then to build it than to put it a lot and struggle by taking this off. So yes, guys, for this part of the eye, I'm going to take the sponge. This is the e.l.f. Camo sponge, which is supposed to be the best for concealers. And I love the sponge. I really like the sponge. So yes, here we go. Okay, wow, it is pigmented, guys. It is pigmented. There is a pigment in here, and oh my gosh, okay, which is very strange. Well, in a shop, when I was getting swatches, it looks a little bit pinkish, but right now, on my skin, it looks very light. Oh my god, I'm gonna get a certainly reversed panda eyes. But hey, makeup is fun. This is just the test. If it's gonna work out for me, I can always get a new shade. No problem in here. But I already, oh no. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. You need to see this. You need to. That is why I'm not a very big fan of concealers, and I'm fine with that. You know, I'm really fun. I'm really fine with that. But sometimes other people's influences my own personal needs, and sometimes I'm like, okay, everyone is wearing concealer. Maybe I should be wearing concealer, and then I put the concealer on, and I have this. Um, Oh my gosh. I've just applied it, as you can see. And look. This is non-concealed, which is quite... This? Oh my gosh. Can you see the dryness? And it already said... Was it supposed to crease? It already creased. Ah. Oh my gosh. Okay. As you can see, this is what I'm trying to say. If I will not like the product, you're going to see why I don't like the product. And I'm not here to put any shade on or hate on your product if this is your favorite. If it works for you, I'm very happy for you that it works for me. I wish it would work for me as well. But then when it does such thing, does it work? And I've just applied it. Okay, guys. Okay. But this is just a test. We're having fun. We're talking about makeup, which is our favorite and lovely subject. Good. In that case, since it looks like this with a sponge on the other side, I am going to use a brush and we'll see if there is going to be any difference. And I'm going to put less of this product this time. Like this. Good. I don't know if you can see it actually with a doe foot. See? The doe foot is pinkish. So 1.5B yogurt drops, I think. It was supposed to be pinkish, but doesn't look very pinkish. It looks very bright. I'm confused. I'm confused. Okay, good. And I'm going to take the brush, just like so, and work with the brush in the lightest way possible. And we'll see if there is going to be any difference. I might actually like it more while applied with a brush, as it's not so super concentrated as it was with pressing with a sponge. Yeah, I think it looks better, but it doesn't change the fact that it does look dry. Oh no, it does look dry. And what about this sweet almond oil? This sweet almond oil was supposed to be nourishing and moisturizing, and my under eye area, they don't feel like it. They don't. Ah. I think if I would have to compare the application with a sponge or with a brush, I think I would choose the brush. It worked better. It distributed the product better, and it is lighter. This area is definitely lighter when it comes to application, and I like it, guys. So there you have it. Let me approach and show you my under eye area. See, here it has creased. Here it didn't. How interesting. So yeah, maybe I put too much of the product on this side and pressed it with a sponge and it has creased, while in here the brush kind of like distributed everything evenly, and I think it looks better. Nonetheless, guys, look at this. It does look dry already. It accentuates my fine lines and wrinkles. And it screams makeup. This is what I was trying to tell you from the beginning of this episode, that I prefer to skip the concealer, because if concealer is not going to work out for me, on my makeup, you're going to see it instantly. And I can see it. And I don't want to see it. In my makeup, no makeup, I don't want to see anything. I want to look everything beautiful and natural. But then again, okay, maybe I'm exaggerating. What can you expect about the full coverage concealer? It has to look. Makeup has to look like makeup, especially the full coverage makeup. It has to look like makeup. So this is the result. Alright guys, so right now I am not going to do anything, I'm not gonna touch it, I'll let it live its own life, and we're going to jump into the next step, which is going to be the powder. But before we're going to apply the powder, I am going to apply a little bit of a makeup and then set it with a powder. And for the need of this episode, I am going to use the Dior Capture Total Super Potent Serum Foundation. Mine is in the shade 1.5N. It is my personal favorite foundation, serum foundation, which is very lightweight, and you don't have to put a lot of it to make it look nice and actually beautiful. I'm gonna shake it. The good things is that it looks beautiful, it looks natural, it has great ingredients. The only downside is that it can accentuate pores. So a pore smoothing primer in the strategic areas would be good. Or a powder. So today we are going to test this powder and see if can smooth your pores in a situation when the foundation is going to accentuate your pores. So, how do I apply such kind of a serum foundation? Very easy, absolutely very easy. I shook it, I take it, I put one pump, not more, not less, one pump, just like so. Now I have this in here, I'm going to warm it up with my finger. I already have some products, so I'll put one here and one on the opposite side. Here, 3, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is my rule of the 12 dots. And then you will have to evenly distribute it. I'm going to take the foundation brush and I'm going to apply this serum foundation. The thing about the serum foundation is that they are meant not to be built up, because they are filled with skincare, and if you will try to build it up, you might end up not with a very great results. That kind of a serum foundation is to even out your skin tone, but not to give you the real coverage, because the serum foundations, they're not full coverage foundations. They're just meant to beautify your skin and not to cover your skin. This is my personal approach to such kind of a subject. And there you have it, guys. It is done. 12 dots on a face from the one pump, distributed evenly with a brush, and the result? I really like this. I really like this. And usually when I'm recommending products, people are very happy. I wish everyone would be happy from my recommendations. It doesn't always work this way. I wish it would have, but you know, what can I say? We're all different and unique and beautiful. But yes, I digress. I lost my thoughts on a different subject. So yes, guys, the Dior Forever. This is how it looks like from one pump, 12 dots, beautiful. But as you can see, I am going to be absolutely honest with you. The pores are accentuated. This is what this serum foundation is doing, but it's fine because right now we are going to test this powder and see what this powder can do. So, there you have it, the powder Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. This is how the product looks like, and mine is in its unique shade called Cherry Bottom. Not the Cherry Bottom! Cherry Blossom, guys. Cherry Blossom. And before we going to apply the product, let's jump quickly into the ingredients, because what is this in this powder? I'm definitely very curious. Let's have a look and let's talk about it. So what do we read? We read that the powder is based on talc. Talc these days is a quite controversial ingredient, I suppose. I'm not gonna jump into any details, but in my personal opinion and the opinion of the internet, the talc is an ingredient that is controversial. Then we have synthetic fluorophore, we have silica, and then we have silicones and dimethicone, cool. And then we have, what do we have in here? I saw it. We have fragrance, which is a scent that is put on purpose. And we have a very interesting ingredient on the bottom called coumarin. Coumarin is used in this product as a perfumey kind of an ingredient, in my opinion, which already on the top of a added fragrance might be super potent fragrance type of a powder, but hey, we're going to see it. So yes, it's time to unbox it. As you can see, there was a seal in here, so it's time to break the seal. I absolutely loved a very beautifully sealed packaging, because you know that you are going to be the first one who's going to break in and use the product. And guys, it looks so cool and so interesting. You open the box and ta-da! So, baking made easy. I mean, let's just digress a little bit about baking. We are not making a scenic makeup. We're not gonna go on a scene. We are not making a drag queen makeup, and I hope, although it's not really very important, I am not a very big fan of baking. I mean, if you need to bake, that's fine. I am not going to bake, so when it comes to tests of this powder, we are not gonna bake, but we're definitely going to put on our face and see how everything is gonna be looking. Alright guys, so it's time to unbox it, and it was actually very funny, because when you open this for the first time, you're kind of, oh my gosh, my powder, my powder is like, it's all over the place, all over the box, hashtag panic, hashtag drama, and then, it's actually the packaging. So yes, and then you discover, oh, it's just the packaging. I hashtag the drama and I hashtag panic for nothing. Okay, so this is how the cherry bottom, cherry blossom looks like. Look, it's pinkish. It's a very pinkish color. Will it change my skin? I don't know. Before we are going to apply the powder, let me put some cream products, add a little bit of a dimension, and I'll be back with this powder. Okay guys, so I am back. As you can see, my makeup is colorful now. It has a blush, it has a highlight, it has a bronzer, so everything is put back together. So what we actually need, the final step, is to set this makeup, and that is going to be with this super famous Huda Beauty powder Cherry Blossom Cake that is sold out everywhere. I managed to snatch it, and I'm not letting it go. So yes, I am opening the box, and ta-da! What you can see actually is that, well, this is how it looks like from this side, and this is something that was surprising for me. As a baking powder, it doesn't have a puff. How cool it would be if they would include a puff, especially because there is a space for the puff. So if you're selling a baking powder and you're not selling it without the puff, it's not cool, right? It is not cool. And then you lift the lid and and surprisingly enough, there is no protection in here, like, to take it off. There's no seal, basically, to put it up. Oh my god, it's everywhere. I can't. Ooh. And the sound. Oh, help, help. Oh my gosh, the situation is right now under control. But this is a very finely milled powder that is, when you have an accident, it flies all over the... Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It is so beautifully finely milled. I love that. I love that in the touch. Absolutely wonderful. So what are we going to do? I am going to set one of my under eye area. We're going to compare it, and then I'm going to set half of my face, and then I am going to set my whole face. Well, the steps, okay? So I'm taking the sponge once again, and look, it has creased, but in here it hasn't. So I guess the application, if you're going to apply it either with a sponge or with a brush, and how much you're going to apply it makes a huge difference. It's definitely worth noting. And the brush is kind of like airbrushed everything instead of a sponge that pressed everything into the skin. It is, I guess, very important to mention. So I'm going to take the sponge and now I'm going to take the brush and take a little bit of this powder. I guess here on the lid I already have enough of this powder, certainly enough. And I'm going to work this like so into the brush, not too much, because I don't know the impact of this powder. Is based on talc and silica that might be drying. We'll see, by the way. Oh yeah, oh. It is very perfumey, guys. It is very heavy perfumey. I'm gonna get to that in just a second, but first, it's time to set. And right now I'm going to set the whole face so that we can actually have a comparison. Does this pinky shade make any kind of a difference when it comes to my complexion? Oh, oof, oof. It is flying all over the place, and it's really very heavily scented while I put this just a little bit. Oof. Oh my god. So what I'm trying to say, imagine if you're baking with such a heavy scented perfumey product. Oh my gosh, you need, oh. I'm putting just a teeny tiny bit on a brush, and I already feel the scent, the perfume. So if you're planning to bake this, get ready, because the scent is overwhelming in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the powder is definitely mattifying. I can definitely confirm that. But I'm going to approach in just a second a little bit more here in the paw area so that you can see the results and how it looks like. All right. Good. Right now, let me approach and show you the result. So, this side is, sorry, this side is powdered and this side is non-powdered. The powdered side right now, it looks better, but as you can see, despite everything, the concealer has creased. Powdered or non-powdered, doesn't matter. Let me have a look and fix that. Good. And when it comes to brightening its power, because so many people, they're saying, oh my gosh, this pinky shade, it's so crazy. Everyone is crazy about the pink powders these days. I do not see much of the difference. Do you see much of the difference? Do I have to bake to see the brightening difference? Because right now I honestly don't see much of a difference, just a teeny tiny, like hardly ever visible. If you would look at me in front, would you be able to tell? There you have it. And it is really hard to tell. Right now I can tell because I know, because I applied it, but the difference is minimal. Does it make any sense to buy a special kind of a shade of the powder? I don't know. Maybe if you would bake, that would make a huge difference, but for a normal daily use, I don't see much of a difference. A little bit, as I mentioned. So there you have it, the side that is powdered and the side that is non-powdered. You can definitely see a mattifying effect, a smoothing pores effect, and in here everything looks just glowy, you know, just like a second skin. This is something that is important and has to be said as well. Do not let yourself get influenced by the influenza of TikTok influencers and beauty gurus that are telling you that your pores will disappear while using any sort of a product like this one. Your pores will never disappear. It's impossible. We are looking at some sort of a, how to explain. When something is glowy, your pores and fine lines and basically your pores and texture will be exposed because it's glowy. So it bounces back the light and it's playing differently with the light. The same pores that are going to be set and mattified with the powder, they're not going to bounce back the light as the glowy side would have. So it gives you an optical delusion that your pores has disappeared, but your pores will never disappear. What I'm trying to say, it's an optical delusion. Your every mattified type of a skin calms down the texture. And that's the whole story. So I have never met any sort of a product that would make my pores disappear, and I can say that this powder will not make your pores disappear. It will definitely smooth your skin, mattify your skin, changes how the light plays with your skin, thus giving you an optical delusion that your pores might be disappearing, but they never will. They're just smoothed out. Whew! My personal opinion. You can agree, you don't have to agree. It's fine. Everyone can have its own opinion in the social media. That is totally fine. But hey, into the subject. So once again, the last time I'm doing you the comparison, the powder side, pretty, very nice. I can sense that it is set. It is not super drying as for now. And this is the non-set side, and now I'm going to actually put this powder all over my face, so apart from the under eye area over here, because this is important for the test, and we'll see. Oh my gosh, the scent. I think this is what I've said about the ingredients. It might be this coumarin ingredient that gives an extra scent. Why it is so scented, especially when they're claiming that it's supposed to be used for baking. which means you have to use it a lot to bake. Oh my gosh, this scent. I guess if you would look from afar, you can say, yeah, everything looks really nice, everything looks really pretty, everything looks airbrushed and perfected. And yeah, I suppose, it is true, but then if you would approach and look in my under eye area, you can tell. You can tell that I am wearing something. And in my makeup, I don't want people to know that I'm wearing makeup. This is the beauty of makeup, no makeup. Such kind of a makeup is very difficult to achieve. Basically, less is more. With a foundation, one pump is more than enough. Concealer, or me preferably, no concealer. And sometimes I don't even have to use powder because some of the foundations, they set on their own, so I don't need to add an extra set. Although my skin is different, I'm over 40 years old, my skin is normal to dry, so any kind of an extra layers adds dryness to my makeup, making it look I can't find words. Making you looking older. Well, moving on. But yes, okay, guys. The part of this episode when it comes to application, demo, and the presentation of the product, it is done. Right now, I would like to invite you to go with me on a walk, so that I can present you the check-in in the natural light, so that you can see how this makeup looks in the natural light. Although I do film in the natural light, the camera acts differently. This is something very important. In outside light, natural light, the camera acts differently, and inside the indoors with a natural light, camera acts differently. Anyway, what I am trying to say, please come with me on a walk when I can show you the check-in outside, so that you can have your own judgment how everything looks like. And this is from where we're gonna continue the episode. So yes, let's do the check-in in the outside light, in the outside world right now. Hello, gorgeous, beautiful stars. Paris Star Channel here during the check-in in the natural light. And can you see this natural light? Oh my gosh, how grey, how gloomy. It has been like that since last 2 months. I haven't seen the ray of sunlight, and I haven't seen a sun for a very long time, because it has been like that all the time. Oh my gosh. Such a gloomy natural light. Anyway, let's go to the subject and let's summarize what is happening here on my face. Just a reminder that over here it's a powder under eye area with a concealer. Here is non-powder. So there you have it, the powder one and the non-powder. Oh my gosh. As for my own personal opinion, the concealer has done everything what I don't like it when it's doing, which means it has dried out, set, separated and crackled and started to live its own life, contrary to the life in my under eye area. It makes me look old, it doesn't make me look good or flattering. It exposes instantly that I'm wearing makeup. Have a look. And this is the unset with a powder. So yeah, guys, I don't know, and it hasn't been passed lots of times, maybe like 4 hours or so, and it's already doing like that. When it comes to powders, it is pretty, it is smoothing, it is mattifying, non-super drying, but the setting power it does have. So yeah, that would be all when it comes to the check-in in the natural light. Right now it's time to go back to the studio for my final check-in and my final thoughts. And I invite you to continue watching. So I'll see you in just a second in my studio. In the meantime, this is how it looks like in natural light. See you in just a second. Hello, gorgeous, beautiful stars! Paris Star Channel here with a final check-in and final summary, guys. And let me just show you one thing. It is 6:09, guys. It is 6:09, so I have been wearing these products for a very good, like 7 hours, and I think this is more than enough because I already have my opinion and I would like to share it with you with these final thoughts. But before I am going to tell you my opinion, I would like you to have opinion about what are you seeing right now. So I am going to get very close to show you what is happening in my under eye area because oh my gosh, what is happening? This, to remind you, this under eye area has been set with a powder. This one has been not set with a powder. So both, they look like that. I haven't been fixing it, I haven't been retouching it. The way how I applied it, it remained for the past 7 hours, and this is the final result. Are you ready? I am approaching, guys. So, oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. And I guess in here, as you can see, a total breakage, a total separation. It's living its own life, contrary to the life that is happening on my skin. Is just out of control. And in here, as you can see, yeah, you can definitely see that something is happening. And when I'm gonna get closer, oh my gosh. So basically, in my opinion, this concealer is for me, for my very demanding skin, and I'm over 40 years old, wrinkly, under eye area, very dry. This concealer is doing everything what I am not looking in the concealer, which means it breaks, it separates, it's having its own life contrary to mine, and it just makes me look older. Whenever you'll see me from the close-up, it screams makeup. It just screams makeup on my face, and I am definitely not looking for such kind of a product, which is a shame, because obviously this concealer is many people's and influencers and YouTubers a favorite concealer of 2022. I wanted to make it work. I really wanted to make it work, but it looks like it did not work out for me. But please, let's have it clear. Let's clear that out, okay? If a product does not work for me, I'm going to tell you and show you why it doesn't work. On top of that, now you can see how it looks like in a different light. So you can have your own opinion, actually, that it doesn't look good, that it doesn't look flattering. My makeup makes me look older, and this is something that I am not looking for in the makeup. So, if I do not like something, that doesn't not mean that I hate product from the people who loves the product. Do you understand? I do not have any hatred. So let's clear that out. It didn't work out for me, but that doesn't mean that this product is bad. It's just, it doesn't work for me. If it works for you and it's one of your favorites, that's totally fine. I wish it would work for me because I wanted to make it work so much, but it didn't. So I guess it will not be a very huge surprise if I am going to tell you that Paris Star Channel gives a red light to the concealer from HUDA Beauty. The Faux Filter Concealer it just didn't work out for me as much as I wanted. It didn't work out for me, and this is the result, and this is my final mark. I would not be very honest, if I would say that it's a wonderful concealer when you can see the proof, obviously, that something wrong is happening in my under eye area, and this is the culprit. This is the culprit. I wish you would work, but you didn't. So this is it. When it comes to the powder, the Huda Beauty Cherry Bottom, I can't. Cherry Blossom Cake Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. Guys, okay, let's go with a summary. First things first is the effect that it gives on your skin. Very pretty, mattifying, controllable powder, which means if you're gonna apply it just a little bit, it's going to beautifully set your face. Look, nothing here is happening, nothing here is transferring. It's going to beautifully set your makeup without really seriously drying your skin, which is pretty good. And as you can see, the matte is very good, it's controllable, and the pores are smooth. They will never disappear. I hope it's clear. But everything is kind of like perfected, and I can confirm that this powder does the job. When it comes to the special shade, as you can see, the pinkish shade, I haven't noticed any kind of a difference, any kind of a brightening, any kind of a special effect on my skin when it comes to this shade. Maybe if I would bake myself, then maybe the effect would appear if I would layer it a lot, but I am not that type of a person that bakes. I'm not doing a scenic makeup. I do not go on a scene to perform, to lock my makeup that hard in place. I prefer a very subtle, natural, everyday makeup, so I did not bake, so I don't have any opinion how it would look like if I would bake with this powder. For everyday use, for everyday little set and everyday kind of a makeup, it works. It mattifies, the matte stays all day long, it is perfected, it is mattifying, and it is smoothing. So there will not be a very big surprise if I am going to tell you that Paris Star channel gives a green light to this powder. It is a very interesting product. You have a control. You can control what kind of matte do you want and how much you want to set your makeup, and it works for me. It works very well. So there you have it, a red light for concealer and a green light for powder. This is my final thought and my final opinion about these products that I have tested. One more time, I'm going to approach so that you can have your own opinion, because your own opinion matters most. Do you think that the concealer is definitely the one that is worth applying and wearing for such a long time? You know, my under eye area is definitely very demanding, so this concealer does not work. And usually I like concealers that are very expensive and are emollient. This one is definitely rather more on the setting and drying side, and you can actually see the result. So yes, guys, that would be all when it comes to this episode, and that is my summary. In the meantime, I'm going to spoil you a little bit. We are still continuing the exploration of the concealers, so the next episode is going to be my review about the Milk Makeup Concealer. A very interesting concealer. Is supposed to be clean beauty, which means good ingredients. That's going to take care about your skin, that's going to give you coverage, that is not going to be damaging to your skin, spoiling your skin. Oh my gosh, I am absolutely very intrigued to try it out, how it is going to look like on my skin, on a person that is over 40 years old. Is it worth any kind of an attention? We're going to try it out. So yes, guys, this episode has come to an end. Thank you so very much for watching. Thank you so very much for tuning in and celebrating with me the diversity that makes us all different and beautiful. How wonderful. I'm sending you a warm greetings, and I'm inviting you. Will I see you in the next episode? In the meantime, guys, see you soon. From Paris, with love. Bye-bye now.